Hi, this is Beverly Ann Freeman, and today we're talking about healing from the inside out for the purposes of manifestation. The basic principle behind this is very simple. You don't manifest from your conscious mind, you manifest from your subconscious mind. And everything that we're creating in our life is coming from somewhere within us, because what the universe gives us is basically exactly what we need. And what we think we need and what we need can be two different things. So what we need is what we create inside us with our energy vibration, and that goes out into the universe and starts to create and manifest. And then as it starts to create and manifest, it starts to bring in a magnetic energy vibration, and it brings two things together, and before you know it, you've got something in your life which is you have created situations, peoples, places and experiences which reflect your inner being and your inner beliefs. So if you are creating things that you don't necessarily want in your life, you have to look at the place within you where you need to heal. And this can be very difficult for some people because they can think, well, there's nothing that I need to heal. And if there's something showing up in your life that isn't necessarily exactly what you want or exactly what you would like it to be, then writing lists on pieces of paper and creating vision boards is not going to prevent that from happening. Because quite simply, if you don't heal the things that are deep inside your being or deep inside your consciousness, you will not create what you desire in your life. You will create what you need to learn and heal whatever it is inside you. So it's a scary thought, because basically you think that you can create and manifest from a conscious level, but you can't. You can ask God for things, and you can ask the universe for things, and you can believe that you deserve them and they will show up in your life. But when you look at the spectrum of what your life is, you're actually creating things around you based on your deep belief patterns. And many of these patterns can stem from childhood, or they can go further beyond childhood. They can come from your mother's belief patterns, they can come from your grandmother's belief patterns, they can come as way back as your great-grandparents' belief patterns. So when we attempt to heal from the inside out, we're almost breaking that pathology and, to an extent, our DNA. And it's very possible to do this. Dr. Bruce Lipton has done a lot of study and a lot of work on investigating how we can change our DNA with our belief patterns just through our mind. Dr. Joe Dispenza has done studies on how the mind can change the physical experience by moving itself into the quantum field where nothing exists, only consciousness. And as we move into that, we are able to almost recreate a new reality. And this has been specifically designed to enable people with paralysis and chronic illness to heal. So you don't necessarily want to go into the quantum field and start creating a new physical experience for yourself, because you might not have those problems in all areas of your life. Some parts of your life might be happy, some parts of your lives might be where you want improvement. So I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. If you are a woman who feels that you have had maybe 2 or 3 really difficult or even disastrous relationships, and you felt at the beginning of the relationship that this person's been the right person and you've had a really strong connection with them, but over the course of months or even years, even some people who've been married for maybe 20 years then come out the other end and the marriage has not worked, and we want to ask ourselves why, and why am I not finding the right person? So in terms of the law of attraction and the manifestation process, we might then say, I want to attract the right person into my life to make me happy. Well, if you just stay as you are, it's probably going to be about 99% that you are going to just recreate the same man in a different pair of trousers the next time round. What you need to look at is two things. You need to look at, if this is you, and I'm just using this as an example, and we have to look at different areas of our lives and different healing that needs to go on within us. But if you were that woman who were finding it difficult to attract the right partner, and like I say, this can be months or this can be years of relationship, what you need to look at is two things. One, what was the relationship with your father? And two, what was the relationship with your mother, and how did your mother and father interact with each other? Because they have what have created your belief systems, basically. So if you had a father that was absent or emotionally unavailable, maybe he was there but you didn't really get the emotion or the love that you really desired from him, then basically you're going to go and you're going to use that representation. It's a deep-seated representation in your life, and you're going to go and find a man that either leaves you and abandons you just like your father did, or a man that is present but is emotionally unavailable and therefore doesn't love and honour you and give you what you need in the relationship. It may be that you find somebody who is just like your father, who is a loving, caring, kind, considerate man, but through learned behaviour from your mother, you are unable or unwilling on some level to accept that love into your life. It might be that your mother was a very strong person, was maybe a little bit controlling even, and through that process you saw how your mother behaved. Maybe your mother treated your father in a way that was unwittingly or unknowingly disrespectful, because she was always trying to keep it together, she was always trying to keep control of everything, she was always trying to keep everybody safe, and she was always trying to protect herself and those around her. Through that process, you've also picked up that learned behaviour. Therefore, in the relationship, you don't necessarily accept the loving kindness from the person that you're in the relationship with. So we look at our behaviours from our parents and we look at how these have been learned. And if you go to your father and you say, well, my father wasn't there, he abandoned us, he left my mother when I was a young woman and I never really knew my father, then you go and look at his father, and was it that he was abandoned? And you'll find that there's usually this pathology that goes down the line of generation and generation. An example of this is with the African American people. A lot of the African American people today are experiencing problems within their communities, poverty and striving to survive, and sometimes that gets them into a lot of trouble with emotional difficulties. But if you go back to only 300 years ago, the African Americans were slaves that were ripped from their homes and brought to a new world with no choice. Therefore, their pathology is that they've been brought up on dysfunction, and even though the slave mentality is more or less gone, the DNA and the pathology has still been handed down to their ancestors, which is why they're still experiencing problems in their communities today. And that will take some work to be able to change and evolve. And it's the same with you. If you look at your deep-seated belief problems, if you have a weight issue, and you want to lose weight, and you say to, the law of attraction or the universe or God, I want to lose weight, make me thin. You have to look at what needs healing within you to be able to manifest and create that in your life. It could be that you were assaulted or abused, either as a child or as a young person, as a teenager, and so the extra weight, the extra flesh on your body is a form of protection. Until you go back and heal that, the weight is never going to shift, because what you're actually giving out to the universe is, I need love and protection. And so the universe is giving you what you desire, and the opportunities to gain weight will always present themselves to you, because that's what you're actually manifesting, even if you think you're manifesting the opposite. So you have to go into the deeper levels of who you are to understand what you need to heal, and therefore how it's showing up in your life and what it's creating, because it always will. This is the law of attraction. Now, I'm not just going to leave you there and leave you hanging. What I want to do is explain to you how you can heal those deep-seated belief patterns. If you had to work with a specific person who abused, abandoned, degraded, or demoralized you in some way, then the key to healing that is forgiveness, because forgiveness will always set you free. You don't condone their behavior, but you forgive on a deeper level, and it may be that you have to pray to get the strength for that forgiveness, because it could be that this is something that was really, a real deep-seated hurt for you. But when we ask for love and forgiveness, and we hand that pain over to God or the universe, we literally are free. We're free from the sufferance and the imprisonment that we have put ourselves in. It may be that you feel that guilt and shame and lack on some level. So the way to heal that is to forgive yourself, and to truly, really start to forgive yourself. If you want money, and you're finding that there's a lack of money in your life, then this is about self-worth. It's about going to a place, either in your childhood or with your upbringing, where did I start to believe that I wasn't worth being a millionairess, or wasn't worth being paid more than I'm being paid right now? When did I create that belief? Because what you believe about money is what's showing up in your life at this moment. If you really believe that you've got to work hard for money, that is exactly what you'll get. You won't get any money unless you work hard. And when you work hard, you'll find that money shows up. And when there's a lack of work, you'll find there's a lack of money, because intrinsically you have a connection in your being between money and work. If you were brought up in an environment where money was a given to you, and you just believed that it was there and it was just something that you had because your parents were very wealthy and you were always given things, you will be brought up with a belief that money is just given to you. And you see this amongst people who are born into money. Unless they have something within them that makes them feel like they are undeserving in some way, and that they don't deserve money, they will continue to manifest money, because they will have been brought up with a belief that you don't have to work for money, money just comes. So it's about healing your deep-seated belief patterns, and through this process of healing, and through this process of changing those deep-seated belief patterns that we sometimes don't even consciously know that we've created. These are things that have been passed down to us through generations. These are the beliefs of your grandparents that have been passed down to your parents, that have been passed down to you, that you are passing on to your children. And therefore you are creating these patterns, and they're being passed down. So they're not even sometimes conscious beliefs. Sometimes they are unconscious beliefs, but they are what is showing up in your life. So the way to truly manifest and to truly create is by going into our deep-seated belief patterns and healing right there. It's about going right inside yourself, right inside the core of your being, and pulling out all the crap, all the garbage, all the rubbish, pulling it all out, having a look at it, and then saying, I don't need you anymore. I love you because you're part of who I was, but I don't need you anymore. Handing it over to the spirit world, handing it over to God, and then healing that wound so that what's inside you now is just pure unconditional love energy, and that's what will start showing up in your life. There's a big difference between asking for stuff from the cosmos and saying to God, how may I be the highest vibration of myself? When you do that, you put the trust in the universe, you put the trust in God to bring you the absolute best things in life. Because what you're doing is you're saying to the universe, I ain't going to fill the details in. I am trusting you to give me the absolute best that I can possibly achieve in this lifetime, and I know that you will give me that. And so that trust is about allowing the universe to manifest and create on your behalf, coming from a place of love in your heart. When we write lists and we ask for specifics, the universe might well provide them to us, but we could be missing out on something greater, on something better, you know. It's like saying, I really want that promotion in my current job. I really want that promotion in that current job. Believing that you deserve the promotion in the current job. But once you've got the promotion in the current job, you're then committed for the next 2 or 3 years. And when the phone call comes in that you, with the big company, with the really top job there, you're all tied up and you've just taken the promotion, so you miss out on the higher opportunity. So it's a real difference from asking for specifics and believing that that's the level that you're at, than putting your trust in a higher power and saying, I know that as I act love and I be love in my every single day being, therefore I just attract pure love energy into my life. And by doing that, you're allowing the universe to bring everything to you on the highest possible level. And the reason why I say love is because the highest possible level within every human being, within the whole of consciousness, is love. Once you can act as love, think as love, and feel as love, you will create love in your life. And love is basically the magic, that's the miracle. That's when the miracles start to happen. That's when it really starts to manifest into your life, into pure bliss. It's about creating heaven on earth. Okay, so there's a big difference between creating at this level of I want a new car and I want a new house, and putting your trust in the universe to bring you everything at the absolute highest level that you possibly can. But to be able to do that, you need to know that you deserve it. So we start with self-love, we start with self-healing, we start with looking at our deep-seated belief patterns and noticing how they're showing up in our lives. When something happens that you perceive to be negative, you ask yourself, what is this showing me? What is it showing me that needs to be healed in my life? And you go there and you do the work on it and you heal it. So if you've got a specific problem or issue that you're really trying to deal with and combat in your life, then email me and I'll see if I can highlight the deep-seated belief pattern that is manifesting that. It might be that you can do it on your own. You could meditate and ask during the meditation for the answers. You could write it on a piece of paper and you could say, give me the answer in a dream tonight. And then when you wake up in the morning, look at the very last dream that you had that you remember before you woke up, and that will be your answer. You can write letters to people that have hurt you and look at forgiveness. You can do some mirror work where we stand in the mirror and we say, I truly love you. I forgive you for all that you've done before, because I know that you did your best with the knowledge that you had at that time. And I now give you unconditional love from this day forward. I promise that nothing will happen to you, and I promise that I've got your back. And I love you forever, and I always give you my best. And when you look in the mirror and you say that to yourself, you can't then go away from that and start procrastinating for the rest of the day. You have to hold yourself in that place of love. By giving love and kindness and compassion to others, you are being a reflection of yourself in the world, which means that you're giving love and kindness and compassion to yourself. And it's super, super important to give love and kindness and compassion to yourself. That's where the deepest healing takes place. So the key principles of healing yourself here are forgiveness of others and forgiveness of yourself, love to others and yourself, compassion to others and yourself, kindness to others and yourself. When you can get yourself into that place, you will create a world in your life right here in the physical experience that can only be matched by the kingdom of heaven. If you need any help with this, email me at beverlyannfreeman@live.co.uk. Good luck and namaste.